food is a high-value market, with pet owners prepared to pay big money to keep their pets in peak condition. But the nutritional value of high-end pet food for cats and dogs has rarely been quantitatively assessed. A study at AgResearch's Grasslands is aiming to add value to top-line dog and cat foods and the meat industry as a whole by testing the various claims of superior nutritional benefits made by niche pet food manufacturers.
Pet foods come in 2 to 3 major sort of formats. You get your dry or your kibble diet, the pellets that you can buy. You can buy canned pet food, which is largely meat-based, and you can buy what's called natural pet food. So that's a minimally processed, very high meat and offal content. There is a lot of research that gets done on pet nutrition globally. A lot of that is done with the multinationals, the global multinationals, so they have very big R&D budgets. For our particular industry partners, they're small, they're in a niche part of the pet food market, and their R&D budgets are quite small in comparison to the manufacturers of kibbled products, for example. So there is a real lack of understanding of how a diet that is actually natural for a pet, so lots of meat and animal products, benefits the pet. The money has come from MB, which is the Ministry of Business, Innovation and Employment, and we've also got cash co-funding from our industry partners. The major issue for our industry partners is there's no scientific evidence, so what we're hoping to do is publish results so that the industry has some science to actually back up what they say. So for us, it's about getting top quality, peer-reviewed science published in international journals. That's ultimately the outcome that we're aiming for. Because our companies have slightly different variations on the theme of a natural red meat diet, we're not feeding specific products, we're feeding a format, if you like, so a red meat-based diet to our animals, and we're not product testing as such. What we'll do is feed dogs and cats raw red meat diets and then assess how it affects fecal quality, how it affects their coat quality, and some other parameters around their general health. We've done some preliminary funding. AgResearch core funding and industry helped pay for a study that we completed last year. What we've found so far is that the raw red meat diet compared to a extruded kibble or a dry food improved fecal consistency, fecal bulk. So we've got nice poos coming out of the animal, and we're finding that protein digestibility is very, very high in the raw red meat diets. So it's, the animal is getting more protein out of its diet than what it would otherwise. We're working with 3 companies. We're working with Jimbo's, Canine Natural and Ziwi Peak, and they're basically the cornerstone of the New Zealand natural pet food industry. They're the 3 major players. Jimbo's is a raw red meat product that you can find in the chiller in the supermarket. Canine Natural do a frozen or a freeze-dried product that you can find in the supermarket or in specialty pet shops. And Ziwi Peak do an air-dried product format and a canned format that you can find in specialty pet stores.
Industry standards are largely based out of the States. There's a set of essential nutrients that we know that they need. The difference between the more expensive premium end and the budget end, you probably won't really see on the ingredient list. The ingredients tend to be the same, but the quality of the ingredients are greater on the more expensive diets. So the nutrients are more digestible and the animal will be able to get more nutrients out of those diets. The filler in most of these diets is generally the fibre content. You need a certain amount of fibre to produce the stool at the end of the digestive tract. So if you don't have that fibre, then you get those hard bullets that you tend to get on some of the home kill type diets. So if we start with the dogs, a lot of the people that feed this kind of format look upon dogs as close to their wolf ancestor. So it would be fair to say that these kind of diets attract that kind of owner. We're working at the moment to understand what dogs would actually choose if they were given a high protein, high fat, high carbohydrate diet. So outcome of that will lead into hopefully this kind of research as well. When we look at cats, we really consider them as obligate carnivores. They need to eat meat to survive. The number of nutrients they actually require is significantly more than the dog. And if it's possible to fully synthesize a synthetic diet for cats, but very, very expensive. I think that there's a realization that human nutrition influences the buying behaviour of their owners. People are going gluten-free or grain-free and wanting that for their pet diets as well, and that kind of feeds into this natural format as well. So yes, we're seeing that trend. In terms of wet food versus dry food, we're doing quite a bit of work around moisture content of diet. So dry food contains, normally about 5 to 10% moisture. From a cat point of view, we think that there may be issues around that low level of moisture. They're naturally designed to consume diets that have got about 70% moisture. They get a lot of the moisture from their diets, so we think that maybe wet food and the natural format may be more suitable to cats, but we haven't got the data to actually support that at the moment. This project is aimed to maybe try and keep some of the money associated with the raw materials and add value to them within New Zealand rather than exporting them as raw materials to be turned into super premium pet foods overseas. The most exciting thing about this project is you've got 3 relatively small companies in the same space working together for the good of the format, if you like. The 3 companies that are producing this pet food within New Zealand have got access to overseas markets, and these markets in North America and Europe are a lot more developed than within New Zealand, and their products can command significantly high amounts of money overseas.
This program was made with funding from New Zealand On Air.